Hello, my name is Brandon. In this short video, I will be diving into Git and GitHub. They are tools I feel every programmer should know, regardless of your experience level with programming. If you're new, it's a great thing to get started with, and if you're experienced with programming, it's a good thing to learn. So let's get started. The first thing we'll be doing is going to github.com. As you can see, there's a sign in, sign up option on this lovely website. When you click sign up, it'll bring you to this page where it asks for your email, your password, and your username. I have already filled in this information, but once you do, you click continue. It'll bring you to one of those CAPTCHA verification uh, pages where you have to type in what words are on the screen or click certain parts of the prompt. And after you do that, we'll send you a verification email with a code. Once you get the code, enter it in here, and then you're good to go. And then we can sign in. As you can see, it's already saved my information. And then we will be on this lovely page. And the first thing we will do is create a repository. So a repository is basically just a really big folder where you can upload any types of file you want to GitHub. So you could upload a text file, image files, anything like that. And then anyone who accesses this repository will be able to see those files. So we'll name this, as you can see, I've done this before. We will be naming this demo. Let's name it GitHub no, GitHub intro. That sounds good. And this will be the description. I wish it was stop popping up showing old work I've tried to do before. This is an introduction to the basics of GitHub. We'll leave it as a public. And then we have a README file, which basically a README file is supposed to be anyways, what the first thing you look at when you look at someone's repository. It'll have like the information of who's working on it. Well, it should have the information of who's working on it, who is like what the program's supposed to do on it. Potentially, you'll leave issues and notices of things that work or don't work right. But anyways, we will now hit create repository. As you can see, it's creating a repository, and here we are. So up here you can see my name and WSU, and then GitHub intro. So this is obviously, your name of whoever is the owner of the repository, and this is the name of the repository. And then you can see here, this is where the files go uploaded here, and the readme.md is actually shown right here in the bottom, which is why I was talking about how it's kind of the big attention grabber you're supposed to look at first. It has the name of it, the repository, and then the description of it, and you can add to these actually. And as you can see, I hit edit, and I can edit this and add more things to talk about. And commit, by the way, is just GitHub's fancy wording for saving. And updating the README is what we're doing. Added extra text. Now you can see, it says more things to talk about. If we go back to hit code, and it just basically refreshes you at this beginning page. And as you can see, it says more things to talk about now. And it tells you there's two commits, the one I just made now, and the one of the initial commit, which is when we created this. Something else you can do is, if you hit code, you can go to code spaces. And if you hit a code space, it basically opens up a something similar to Visual Studio, which is a place where you put code in and compile it. That's a compiler, I believe they're called. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it. And then the other thing you can do is a local, which these are just the different ways of doing it, where you take this link to the GitHub and you go, and this is how you would copy a file or clone a file. As you can see, it says clone using the web URL. So you'd go into something like Visual Studio and you'd run a git clone command with this URL, and it would copy this entire thing into Visual Studio or Visual Studio Code or whatever other compiler you're running. And then you'd be able to edit it in there and then push it to this from there, which pushing it is just taking the code from that, putting it back into the GitHub, and it would save it from your local machine to here where anyone who accesses it on the web can reach it. That is the basics of just starting and getting a repository opened up. And I told you some stuff about cloning repositories, code spaces, and what commits are, all that. And thank you for watching.